Oh, well, oh, hang on. I don't like that. I don't like that indeed. But couldn't look any more around if I tried. The haircut, the face, the glasses. Hello, lads and ladies. How are we? Sunday night. It wouldn't be nappers without a bit of a screw up, would it? It's only taken 2 seconds of being live. Welcome back to the live stream. Plenty of goals, plenty of action. Goals in every game. Action in every game. Home wins, draws, away wins. Hey? Derby Day wins. Local affair wins as well. That's important to know. But to join me, he's absolutely... Hang on, I don't like this. How do I do this? How do I do this? There we are. I need to change something here. I don't... What am I doing?
My God, what is he doing?
What am I doing
What
here?
are you doing? Do you know? There we go.
I'm lost with it without Charlie Keegan doing it for me.
Yeah.
This is how bad I am with technology.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy. Are you very happy, Ben? I'm very happy.
Matt, I tell you what. We'll get onto it in a minute. Hello to the people in the chat. If you could like, subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Get commenting. A massive thank you for 18,000 subscribers. 18, great number is that. And it's a great achievement to hit that many subscribers. No. It's one of my best goals so far because it felt like a bit prolonged. I felt I never would hit it at some stage, but I'm unbelievable grateful to hit it as well. So, hello, mate. You okay, pal? Good to see you in here, mate. Great win against Burnley yesterday. Hello, Parmex. Hope you're well, mate.
My mate, Dave. All right, Dave.
Hello, David. How are you, mate? Burton played yesterday. However, they lost. Hello, how are we? Hello, Mother. Hello, David. How are we? Hello, Scott. How are we, mate? Nappy just looks like James Bond. I'm trying to think of another. I'm trying to think of another Bond. What, Justin? 007. License to Thrill. Yeah, exactly. Like I say. So, Jake. Oh, big thank you, Links.
Jack.
What a guy. Thanks so much for the gifted membership. Who's he gifted it to? Who's been given it? I'll have a look. We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. It is. The suspense is killing me.
It really is, man.
Andrew Rawlinson.
Andrew
has been gifted a membership. There you are, mate.
Say thank you. Say thank you, Mr. Gilbert.
There you are. Thanks, Phil. Thanks very much, Jack. Appreciate you as always. How was your weekend, Jake? Oh, God, yeah.
God, could have been worse, mate. Couldn't it? It could have been worse. Yeah, no, I've had a very, very good weekend, mate. As you know, lovely day yesterday on the train. I went with one of my bosses to the game. A couple of drinks on the train. Missed the FaceTime call. Probably the most important FaceTime call I was ever going to get.
Can you tell, mate? Can you tell them what FaceTime call that was?
Well, the little did I know. Obviously, I knew Fleetwood were playing against Colchester. I mean, my second team, Colchester United, and I knew you were. I knew Lincoln Reserves. I knew you were in the press box, but I didn't know you were going to try and FaceTime me with the main man stood next to you as I was in the boozer. However, I did receive a lovely video from Mr. Cowley and Mr. Knappman on my way home, which was very nice of Ben. So Ben, as I've said this a million times, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you very much for the video of Mr. Cowley. Very nice to hear from him again. Very happy that Fleetwood got 3 points for you, of course. I'm very happy that we finally won at London Road. I mean, it's only been 20 years nearly in the league, 2006, since we last won there away from home. Couldn't have been better, mate, to be honest. You wait all those years for a win away at Peterborough, and then you absolutely batter them in second gear, which is what we did. So, yeah, and today's been all right. I've done my food shop. I did have a bit of a predicament earlier, Ben, which I'll talk to you about. Now, you know what I have for breakfast every day, don't you? Do you know what I have for breakfast every day? No, we're not that close. All right. I have Greek yogurt with honey, right, for breakfast. And I went
quite similar. I have Greek yogurt with granola.
Yeah. So I went to Aldi earlier.
You know what I have every other day? Sausage and bacon bussy.
To get some Greek yogurt, and I scanned it, and I was getting ready to bag it, and it
you had to pay for a carrier bag and you couldn't afford it.
No, that's not strictly true. I dropped the Greek yogurt and it exploded all over me. So it went all down my trousers, on my top, all over my shopping bag. So I was covered in white liquid. Fortunately, it was yogurt.
First time?
Not for the first time, that's correct. I was covered in Greek yogurt, and then I had to walk to Sainsbury's and get my sister a birthday card.
You have to pay for it.
What, the yogurt? Thankfully, the bloke on there saw the predicament and offered to go.
I bet that was your first thought. I've got to pay for this. It's going to cost me £1.
No, he went and got me. He went and got me another one. So yeah, no, it was class, mate. I've had a good day. I've been playing a bit of the new FIFA, which me and you were going to play in a couple of weeks when you
Well, I'm getting ready for you.
When you come. I hope so. You've got a lot of work to do from the last time.
I've improved.
But yeah, no, it's good, mate. It's good. Life's good. How about you? How was your weekend? I know you happy with 3 points, but how's your overall weekend been?
Yeah, went to the game yesterday angry. You know, not happy. You know, with how things have played out at Fleetwood. Felt good to say how I felt. I enjoyed that. And I thought, right, new start. You know, felt positive going into the game as soon as the ball got kicked. I thought, here we go, positive nappers. Thinking we're going to win today 2-1, we'll find a way to win. At 3 minutes past 3, we were 1-0 down after playing 2 minutes and 20 seconds of football and getting beat from a dead ball situation. And at 6 minutes, it should be 2. And at 10 minutes, it probably could have been 3 and 4. We somehow get back into the game. And at half time, when I say we were, quite frankly, horrific, we were awful. And to be kind, I kind of bashed us in commentary. I've become fed up of sticking up for certain individuals and sticking up for the team and didn't afraid to say how I really felt. And I was respectful to be fair, but I bashed them because the performance, the level was diabolical. Like, they were dog and duck. It was horrific. And bashed them, then I got comments going, what have you said in commentary? I'm thinking, cry. You know, you start worrying and you start like, and maybe I was a little bit harsh, but second half was much better. They must have heard me. And yeah, we won. That's what we do, isn't it? You know,
it's what we do. Fleetwood are going up. Come on, until Saturday. Saturday 2 o'clock.
Okay, it's 1.5 points a game. We're moving in the right direction, and it's under the 3 points closer to safety. We're nearly a third of the way there now. So yeah, great weekend, great win. Went to the gym today, chilled out, watched some football, and yeah, just chilling out really. So let's get into it. If you could like, subscribe, all that jazz. Got so much to cover tonight here on League One Live. 10 minutes in and we've still not covered a game yet. 4-0 written all over it. We're going to start off at the Pirelli.
Oh, they lost as well, didn't they? Oh, sorry, Dan. Sorry, Dan. Yeah, Dan Richardson has just arrived, look.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
we love old Dan, don't we?
It's just because they want to come back to us. That's what it is.
They want to come and, yeah, they want to get covered on League One Live. And I don't blame you, Mr. Richardson.
Andrew Rawlinson's now gifted a membership. Andrew, thank you so much. And thank you for everyone becoming a member as well. We've got a load of content over there recently. I think we've uploaded 49 or 50 videos now. We've got a double upload coming this week and a double upload coming next week. So
it's gone to Dave Nash.
And we are at 40. We are at 47 membership. So if you fancy join, it's $1.99 down below to join, and it would help me out a lot as well. So get joined.
It's gone to Dave.
Oh, Dave's a great guy. Who is Dave?
Dave Nash, my best mate. Dave Nash.
Your neighbour, Dave.
Welcome. No, it's not my neighbour, Dave. It's Dave, the Bolton fan. But he's well, me and him are best mates. So well done, Dave. Go
there we are. So memberships down below. Right. Burton 0, Plymouth 4. Now, I promise you, when I go through these stats, now, I go through a lot of the stat games myself and look through games and try and think of a stat and how I can think about it. Then I look in certain shots on and try. Some stats I've just EFL stat pack, for example, where we get a few of. And then sometimes I'll go into like, the previous record and stuff like that. Now, I try and make this show always about Fleetwood. The 1 week I don't, right, to put aside, I find a stat about Fleetwood that I've got to put in. So here we are. Plymouth Argyle, so if you've got bingo card for nappers, your Fleetwood stat is coming now. Plymouth Argyle have won away games successively for the first time in the since their final such games was 2022, 2023, right? That's in the while it's their biggest margin of victory on the road since a 4-0 win against Fleetwood in 2014. I wouldn't know. I supported Blackpool then probably. So I wouldn't know. I wasn't
Tottenham.
That was I think it was a Tuesday night by memory as well. It was horrific. Plymouth have now won 3 of the last 4. They scored 11 goals in that time. It was only the second clean sheet of the season. It's important that Plymouth were to get back to winning ways after the disappointment against Peterborough last weekend. But a great victory. They're starting to show what they may be about because they've been scoring goals, but they've been conceding goals. So it did come against Burton, who I think we'll come to in a minute because it is a featured game, so we can cover it a little bit more. But Plymouth now, all of a sudden, have got 12 points. They're only 6 points off the playoff. They've been involved in 33 goals, 3 wins in 4, back-to-back away wins. Things are starting to look a little bit more rosy. Yesterday, he had expected goals of 3.58, 15 shots, 9 on target, and could have had more. Great victory for Argyle. Tom Cleverley, the window's shut. Maybe now is the time for Argyle to go marching on.
Well, I'll tell you what was a big part of why Plymouth Argyle have recently started to turn the corner. Connor Hazard's back, Ben, and he is a massive, massive part as to why this Plymouth team can achieve something this year. Hello, Josh Flack. I've just seen you, so hello, mate. And having him back. Look, Ashby Hammond's been a decent replacement. He's made a lot of mistakes, hasn't he? A lot of high-profile mistakes in Plymouth games. Certainly think the one last weekend against Peterborough where he's parried it back into Jimmy J. Morgan's path and the bloke can't miss. But yeah, no, I think that was a massive, massive issue. Having Connor Hazard in, a known entity at this level, he's very good. He was very good in the Championship for Plymouth Argyle. As a backup
Hazard, isn't he?
He is correct. And having him in it is absolutely massive. But yesterday, I thought it was the whole team were. I didn't think they had to be amazing, but I thought they were good at what they did. I thought they were very effective. Having Talai in the team, I watched the highlights back of the game. He is a right nuisance up front.
What else are you on about here?
No, I'm on about Lauren Talai, mate. Carry on. You keep up, mate. Yeah?
I can't find him on the score. Oh, sorry.
Lauren Talai scored twice, mate. I don't know if you...
Mate, so I've got the wrong note. Shut up.
Nappers has done another hiccup. There you go. There's a surprise. Lauren Talai, brilliant. Hold up play, bringing lads into play. But look, the thing is, and I have spoken to our resident Burton fan, the second goal is the key one in this game, Ben, really, because Aseni is in an offside position. I'm sure Plymouth fans will say that and will admit that when he scores the second goal. And that second goal going in at half-time, 2-0 up, it completely kills any confidence that Burton have got. They had a couple of moments. Burton, Karen Lofthouse hit the post. Charlie Webster had an effort really well blocked, but Plymouth Argyle were good value for the win, in my opinion. They're starting to turn the corner, Ben, like you say. Tom Cleverley is slowly but surely getting his way of playing integrated into this team. And I think yesterday, while they weren't scintillating, they weren't classic. Like I said, good value, and also really important for the strikers to score. I mean, Pebble and Aseni are probably second fiddle at the moment to Lauren Talai, Tolaj, whatever you want to call him. So it was good for those to both end up getting on the score.
You're asking me for advice on pronunciation.
Probably not the best.
It's a bit like me saying to you, a bit like you saying to me, can I have some relationship advice?
Wow. Cheers, mate. Appreciate
You just
that.
wouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, thanks. But still, yeah, good for those two both to score. But yeah, I thought McCabe in midfield was actually very good. I know I came on here and slated his performance, his signing for Plymouth, but I know in the international break just gone, he went and trained with the England seniors, and he's clearly very talented. He's very highly thought of at Middlesbrough. I did a little bit of digging around him, and yesterday I thought he was very, very good in midfield and was a massive part. I don't know if you saw the halftime entertainment yesterday, Nappers.
Pie face.
Yeah, can we discuss what Pie was wearing?
He's got some questionable gear, hasn't he?
It was very rascal, wasn't it, with the Crocs as well. But it was good to see Burton get. I think they won the shootout 6-3. So
that's more goals than Burton Albion will score in the entirety of this year.
They scored more goals in the 15-minute interval than the first team have scored all season in 8 games.
8 games.
Yeah, so tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I'm worried for Burton. Now, Gary Bowyer came in last year and he did a phenomenal job. I thought he was one of the managers of the year. You know, you can't look past what, you know, Chris Davies did at Birmingham to get them up. Phil Parks, you get them promoted, and then Nathan Jones. After that, you think Richie Wellens did a good job, but you think Gary Bowyer for what he did. He lost the spine. He lost Crocombe. He lost Sweeney. He lost Bradford, and he lost Burrell. You know, so you lose your 4 or your 5 best players. Charlie Webster said at the football club, you know, and you sign JJ McKinnon back. You lose quality. Now he came in with the team lower morale, but they had quality there.
Joe Morel.
Shut up. Burrell. So he came in and he shut up.
Morale.
After what I've done for you this weekend, shut up.
Sorry, I'll be quiet.
Right? I've been nice to you, right? And you showed me nothing but respect. First up, your football team's winning too many games of football, and you're threatening to go off to the championship, like Chapel did and Wardy did, selfishly leaving me in League One on my own. Now you're going. You're the one I rely on. Let me speak. But he came in, and it was, you know, let's just do shape. Let's have a bit of fun. Days off. And when you need results, that can work. From the start of the season, a 46-game season, when everyone's level, over a course of the season, I don't think it's sustainable. I think it's good over a 2 or 3 month period, especially towards the end of the year when you need something. I just don't think right now it's the right way. But he's been let down. This isn't on Gary Bowyer. He's a fantastic manager, and I think that if he was given the tools, he would finish mid-table with his squad or comfortably stay in the division. They're 3 or 4 players short, minimum, and they rely on being able to break down a defensive, cohesive unit and being strong and nicking it one. Look, they had a chance at 0-0 yesterday where it comes off the woodwork. That drops, everything's different. But I don't trust them to keep a clean sheet. I think they can keep it down to 1, and the best hope is score 2 or get a point, 1-1. They've not scored for nearly, 7 hours of football. They've not scored for 4 or 5 games. They've scored 5 goals all year. 2 of those came on the opening day. So they've scored 3 goals in the last 7, not scored for over a month.
They've only scored in 3 games, Ben, this season, and they played 8.
Exactly, and that's my. And then they've been naive, they've been soft, they haven't got the bodies there, and I just feel that you want more from them. You want more of an attacking input from a Burton Albion side, but I don't think they can give you that. If I'm honest with you, they're playing a 3-4-1-2 at the minute with McKinnon in behind Shade and Beasley. I don't think they can do more than that. I think if they go to a 4, yeah, it's a gamble, and I think maybe at a time they might have to. I don't think they've got the players of quality to try and get in, score goals anyway. And they've got the worst shot conversion rate in the league, Jake. 5%. Now, the usual standard I look through the last few years is anywhere between 8.5% and 14.5%. Bear in mind, Lincoln City have got 21%, which is 8% higher than anyone else.
No, we're talking about Burton.
Than anyone in the division. No, let me speak. So you can see how Lincoln at the minute are outperforming their data. Burton are massively underperforming in the other way. So they're like 7 or 8% and it's those fine margins that Burton are spirited. I think that you can see that Bowyer's built a family there, and you can see that Bowyer's built the infrastructure for a team. I just think that they lack quality. I think if they had 3 or 4 players, they can't afford it. The Burton Albion, smallest attendance in I think second smallest attendance in the division now, and they did very well for the last few years to stay in this division. I just worry about them now. I think that I think this is their year. I look at it, I say it all the time. Morecambe survived for so long, and for the 2 years went down. Forest Green went, Aki went after our Fleet would have gone, Cambridge, Shrewsbury. The League One sufferers that always found a way to stay up, or Cheltenham, those types of clubs are now in League Two or in the National League, and teams that they've always said we can be better than them. You now look at Burton, you think, who are we better than? I don't think there's, because you look at it, the bottom 6 with them, Peterborough, you think they've got quality in the squad and there's optimism. Blackpool are a bottom 4 squad, just not going their way right now. With Venice, they've been solid at home. Rotherham, there's bits of quality there, but you think, well, yeah, they're not great. But you think that with Rotherham, the name, and there's bits of quality in there. In the likes of Wycombe, Reading, OREINT are better. Exeter may get sucked in. But there's no real 2 or 3 clubs that you think are the certainties. Burton are the certainty now. And I think that eventually, it's a bit like Strictly. Come dancing. You, as a crap dancer, you can survive so many weeks, but as soon as you get to kind of the later stages, you're going to get knocked out. Let's be honest about it. I said it about Bolton. Everyone has a bus stop that they get off at. Everyone has a train station. Everyone eventually gets off somewhere. Burton Army should be so proud for how long they've lasted on this journey. There's still fight. We're only 8 games in. I'm not a mug that you're only 3 points adrift for 2 games in hand. But I see a little optimism that they're going to survive.
Yeah, well, it's the goals, isn't it? The lack of options. And I said this to David. I ended up FaceTiming before we actually spoke last night, Ben. And he was that depressed. He basically, I couldn't talk to him about Lincoln because I felt it would be punishment on the poor kid. But yeah, no, it's difficult for them. It is. And Gary Bowyer's actually changed shape ever so slightly. So it comes in the midfield where last year you had your sitter in Kegs Chouk, and then you had your McKinnon and Webster sort of as your 2 number 8s who were quite advanced. Whereas this year you've got George Evans is not quite the same holding midfielder as Kegs Chouk because he doesn't have the mobility. So you've got to stick someone like a Charlie Webster next to him, and that leaves part of his game out where he's able to get forward and link up with the 2 centre forwards and link up with with JJ, who played as the sole 10 yesterday, and it really didn't work for them. Yeah, look, it's an issue. It's a real issue for Burton. The fact that they're not scoring, they're creating chances. Yesterday they had a couple of chances, but they've not. That when you get rid of your 2 best centre forwards by a long way, I don't know what you expect, and you bring in Jake Beasley, who's never really done it for Blackpool. Did it a little bit for Rochdale at this level over lockdown, but that's 5 years ago now. And Tyree Shade, who's never played above the National League to my knowledge. I don't know what they're expecting. The recruitment certainly wasn't good enough in that area, and the formation slight tweak hasn't helped them at all. So, yeah, I worry for Burton. Like you say, they're very much that team that have been circling the drain pipe for quite some time now, and it looks like it's going to be their time to go. They are far worse now than they were at this point last year. This point last year, they were in games and they were scoring goals. They had that hope. They had different options up front this year.
It felt a shock, didn't it? With Burton, you almost felt like there'd be a turning point. You felt like they had quality amongst the because they had a good window. This time you feel it's so weak, and you feel like you actually feel like they're doing well. I felt like Burton have done well in the last few weeks. That 1-0 against Lincoln in the game. I think when you said they're in game, I think that's slightly harsh. I think there's been 2 games they've not been in, and that's the Luton game and Plymouth game. And that's come. You think about it, they're doing 0-0 to Huddersfield. Barnsley, they were 2-0 up. Yes, obviously you lose 3-2 late on. Stockport, they were 1-0 up with 20 minutes to go. I think what other games have they had? The Mansfield game they won. So it's like they have been in games, to be fair to them, but it's just a couple of games that they've just not been in. More so away from home, and I think they play with a spirit. The shot conversion rates are appalling. I feel that they are quality enough to stay in the game, and they are to have it. My issue is with them, I think that Burton are a type of side that will need 8 chances to score 2, whereas Plymouth will need 3 or 4 to score 1 or 2. And that's Burton need to kind of create 9 or 10 chances to get you a goal. Whereas I think Burton are good enough to create you 5 or 6 chances decently per game. And that is the issue of quality. And I can maybe speak a bit more higher than you recently have been in a relegation battle, and I think David can. I look at Burton this year, and when I looked at Fleetwood when we went down, I actually felt we had attacking talent in the squad. You look through Fleetwood's team that went down, had a Marriott in it, had a Stockley in it, had a Junior Turner in it. It had players that could score goals for you and get you up the pitch. I don't really think that Burton can score any more than 35, 40 goals. And I feel for Gary Bowyer. I really do. You know what else I feel for? Everybody else on this stream right now, what we're about to hear. We are 27 minutes in and we're only 1 game in. I give that another 15 minutes and we'll be 2 games in. Peterborough 0, Lincoln 3. Michael Scabala celebrates 100 matches in charge. 6 wins in 10, Jake. Do you want me to go first or are you going first?
Well,
go on. Take the stage.
We don't win at Peterborough very often, so I feel like I maybe need to drag it out. But yeah, I thought yesterday superb. Thought we were brilliant all across the park. Experience, know-how. Yeah, I thought we were brilliant. I thought we massively outperformed Peterborough. And the thing is, right, you look at stats, right? And you'll look at it, and people from the outside will go, well, Peterborough had 65% of the ball. They had so many shots, right? Lincoln controlled that game yesterday. Like, you can, I know I've said this a couple of times, you can control games being out of possession. And Lincoln, the way Lincoln pressed yesterday, we massively dictated the areas where Posh played in, and they were ineffective. I mean, they didn't have a single shot on target for the entire of the game. George Wickens didn't have a save to make. The goals, I mean, they're all brilliant in their own right. Adam Reach's free kick is sublime. And there must be a thing about Lincoln scoring free kicks over wins over Peterborough. Tom Bayliss did it in the 5-1. Adam Reach did it yesterday. Can you remember, Ben, when we beat them in our first year back? George Grant scored a worldie of a free kick as we beat them 2-1. So it's a bit of a thing. But what I really want to give credit to was actually the man you've already spoke about, Michael Scabala. 100 games in charge, 44 games of those of which are wins. Only Danny Cowley, who we spoke about earlier, Graham Taylor, who went on to manage England, and Harry Peakin have only had better win percent ratios than Mr. Scabala. But Michael Scabala is the only one to have done it exclusively in the 3rd tier. Don't ask me where I got that stat. You don't need to know. But tactically yesterday, he got it spot on. We started with the 4-back. We started really well. If we get the free kick goal, and then he changes to a 5-back and matches them up, and that gives us even more control, bringing on Towler and Tom Hamer, allowing us to play slightly more direct, but it was fantastic. And the one thing I like about this Lincoln team, Ben, and I'm sure I know I've gone on about it, is the squad depth. Genuinely, I think we've got a really, really good squad. I mean, you look at the players that came off the bench yesterday, record signing Ivan Varfolomave, Justin Abikwu, who scored the goal, Riley Towler, who we've spent a lot of money on and is a very, very good centre-half. Tom Hamer, who's a very naturally good performer at this level anyway. So, yeah, I think it was good. I thought everyone played well. Adam Reach in particular, outstanding at left back and left wing back. Rob Street capitalised really well. And look, it's been a really good week, Ben. And I know I sound unbearable, right? And I apologise, but it's been a really good week to beat Luton comprehensively like we did last week, to run Chelsea as close as we did, and maybe, you know, to do League One proud in the manner in which we did on Tuesday, and then to go away to Peterborough and win for the first time in 19 years. I mean, I generally don't think I've had many better weeks supporting Lincoln. So, yeah, fantastic. We deserved it. And, yeah, I'm just really happy. It was a great win and a great performance.
Yeah, agree. This Lincoln side have got a lot of quality. You can see it's well coached. You can see what Michael has done. He went through a tough time where there was questions on him. The Lincoln City board stayed loyal, where I don't think many other clubs would maybe.
To an 18 he won, Ben.
Michael Scabala's football, I think, to a No, I'm not going to say it because I think every style of football has to win. If you play passing football, you've got to win. If you play attacking, free-throwing football, you've got to win. So I'm not really saying that anymore. I think that any style of football, you've got to do and win. But as a fan POV, if you're not seeing things, you've got to see other things and results have got to show. One thing I will say, right, and I don't want to sound horrible here, and I'm going to put you down a little bit, and you could say, yeah, it's a negative start. Lincoln's shot conversion rate is 21%. Now, I would imagine there will be a stage of the season this year where Lincoln will maybe pepper the goal and the ball might not end in the back of the net because that shot conversion rate will come down, as it naturally will. It might stay at 21%. We never know. But the average over the course, I think the highest over the last year has been maybe 15 or 16%. It's very inflamed right now, and it feels that everything is maybe going in Lincoln's favour. When things are going for you, things ricochet in the right direction, you get the odd decision or the ball falls to you. And when everything's going well, it does fall to you. And you get that type of luck when you're on a good run. You do. It's happening at Stevenage. It's happened at Cardiff earlier this year. You know, every team gets that size of luck in a game. All of a sudden, you have quality other side of it. As all those sides have started the season with enormous quality and character, I would think at some stage we might see a run of 4 or 5 games where things don't go well because the shot conversion rate against is quite low as well. So everything is kind of, it's not going in your goal and it's going in the other team's goal. But you're not just winning 1-0 and it's unsustainable. You are scoring goals. That's one thing. It's not like you're scoring one shot. A bit like Doncaster. I think that's one thing I'll go back. Doncaster, we'll come to it in a bit. I mentioned I think their expected goals were one of the lowest in the division. Shots on target were one of the lowest. And they were pretty much scoring with every time they went forward. And you've seen there's been a drop-off. I would imagine it wanted. But this Lincoln City side, I absolutely like. I think it's infectious. It's got quality. It's got youth. It's got agility. It's got pace. It's got power. It's well coached. It's got a real nice blend. And the recruitment is excellent at Lincoln. You know what I think about that. To win 6 of your opening 10 games and beat some of the sides that you have beaten is testament. Reading at home was a tough game. You've lost to Wimbledon away from home. So what? You know, Wimbledon have won 4 of the 5 home games. Only lost 1. That's to Cardiff. Wimbledon have only conceded 3 goals at home. So you know, it is a tough place to go. And you know what you're going to get. You go away at Bolton, you draw that game. You draw to Mansfield and Wigan, both with decisions in that game where you could quite frankly win those games of football. You go away at Northampton and BURTON slog it out in a game probably last year you draw. You beat Luton at home in an excellent performance. And yesterday I thought, to a man, you were terrific again. And you have lost key players. But what Lincoln City do is they keep producing new ones. And I think Lincoln, thinking about it, are a bit like a Brighton of League One. They're never talked about. And when Lincoln beat someone like Peterborough yesterday, from an outsider, when they beat Luton as well, no one will talk about how good this Lincoln side have been. It'll be, how poor were Luton today? How poor were Peterborough today? But Lincoln City continue to produce that every week, which is really good. Look, they've got the second amount of goals per game. Goals conceded, the 4th fewest in the division. Lincoln City don't have the ball. They have got the fewest possession in the league. If you think possession wins you games of football, then you're not on. Lincoln are so good at sitting in their shape, being hard to beat, hard to break down. They know where each other are. They know how to pick a pass out, and they know how to counteract with pace. At home, that might become an issue. Eventually, there's been a few draws sneaking in, and you're thinking Exeter coming to town on Saturday. You may have a bit more of the ball. So what my challenge is to you is when you are the ascendancy, you've got the power and you've got the ascendancy to go and break them down. Look, I sound really negative about Lincoln. I'm not. You know me, Jake. I want Lincoln City to do well. I'm just coming from that thing of. I said about Burton last year. When they were scoring loads of goals, I think they drew 3-3 at Mansfield. They were scoring lots of goals. I went, they'll stop scoring before they'll keep conceding, but they won't keep scoring because it's easy to keep conceding. It's hard to keep up the way of scoring. And I think eventually it'll be.
Yeah, I think so. But you look at the forward options at Lincoln.
Yeah, you've got mate. Look,
Collins, Draper, Street, Abiquu, all going to be reliable sources of goals this year.
I'm not saying that. I think you've got a great team. You've scored 17 goals. I think a special mention for me must go to Conor McGrandles. I think that And we've not spoke about him. We've not spoken about individuals once, since yesterday. And I think that I look at Lincoln's team and I forget about that front four. And you go for it. Collins is, you know what you're going to get from him. He's had a quiet start to the season. He scored 4 goals still. Rob Street is improving week on week. Freddie Draper, I think, is much improved. Looks a different player. Yeah. Ben House can produce a moment of quality as we saw last week. Tom Bayless and Conor McGrath have been running games in midfield. Adam Reach is giving you a natural balance on that left-hand side because I think that without him, I think you're like me with Fleetwood. Not having a left-back makes a difference. We had a left-back yesterday. We won the game of football. That's all I'll say. Bradley and Jacko at the back. Jacko and then Gigi. You've got a real nice balance there. And
you forgot Tendai, one of the best players.
Men like Tendai, yeah. It's a great win for them. Peterborough, no shots on target yesterday. Testament to Lincoln that. But again, typical Peterborough, it goes good for them in the last few weeks, and they're back to this the few weeks later, which for me is an issue, Jay. But Lincoln City, brilliant. We'll say that. Anything more to say before we move on?
Peterborough yesterday, to their credit, did have a couple of moments. They just didn't take them. Had Peterborough taken them, then maybe it would have been a different game. Jimmy J. Morgan hit the post. He put one wide straight after Tendai scored the second goal as well. So they had chances, Peterborough, but I thought they were really, really poor. I thought they were awful.
Do I sound like a Lincoln fan in my analysis?
You might. Okay, you join along, Ben. We're going up. Come on, start singing it. Look, I'm enjoying it while it lasts. Do I think we're here for the long run? Maybe not for the automatics, but I do think we're a serious contender to finish in the top 6.
We're not looking at the table till next week.
Until 10 games in, we said, did we not? Correct. Table after 10 games.
And I said to myself, if Lincoln had got like 8 points, no, we don't. 10 games is a ridiculous sample size. We'll move on, and because we're 38 minutes in and we've only done 2 games, but we'll find a way. Lane OREINT 2, Stevenage 3. Richie Wellens had a few harsh words to say about Stevenage play style. Basic. We produce players and sell them onto the championship for multi-millions of pounds, and you know what you're going to get. He did say one thing about Stevenage that I agree with, that they're a settled team and they've been together a long while. And you do look at that. Freestone, Pedriani, Good and Widlin have been together a long time. Harvey White has improved week on week. You know what you're going to get from Dan Kemp and Kem Campbell and Bez Labala. They've got a real nice balance of a team. To come from a goal down yesterday showed enormous character. It's another win for this side. 7 wins out of 9 now, Jake. 22 points. Farley will be running around like a headless chicken.
I can hear him.
Yeah, to be fair, if they lost 3-2 yesterday, they'd probably be going, I love them to miss. We scored 2 goals. It's fine.
Yeah, this was a bit of a weird one yesterday. Steve, I mean, it's that man. I mean, you've spoken about him there, but Harvey White, that's the ultimate player that unlocked the door for them yesterday. He was outstanding. He took his goal really well, and he made 2 good goals with 2 good set piece delivery for Freestone and Piergiani. And Richie Wellens can come out and he can say, that all they are is a long ball side that play for set pieces. They're very effective at it, and they know what they do. It's similar to what we've just spoken about with Michael Skabala and Lincoln. They know what they are, they're comfortable with what they are, and they do it very, very well. And Stevenage yesterday, whilst they perhaps were slightly fortunate in some aspects, I know OREINT hit the bar, Philip Marshall made a couple of good saves as well. OREINT had a couple of chances that they massively spurned, like the one in the last minute where Connolly drags it wide. I think it's harder to miss, to be honest, and score. But yeah, they know what they are. They ride the luck on occasion, but a fantastic win again. I know this is the cream rises to the top derby. I know OREINT and Stevenage have a bit of a humdinger since the pair of them got promoted together a couple of years ago. But yeah, I thought they were very good. Lewis Freestone finally getting off the mark in a Stevenage shirt was massive for him. But that man Harvey White stepping up, when the likes of Dan Kemp isn't, Dan Kemp's not quite playing at the levels at which he is. I thought Labala was very good yesterday. Piergiani and Good very good at the back as well. Freestone, who's playing slightly out of position as well. Leyton OREINT, I mean, I don't know. Ben, where do you stand on Leyton OREINT? I think Richie Wellens says they're trying to do it differently to Stevenage. He says it's very basic to play the way that Stevenage played into. Whereas I thought what he said was quite offensive. Actually, I didn't really like what he said, but yeah, I thought it was I think Leyton Orient are really poor at the moment, Ben. I don't know where I stand on them. They're creating chances, but they're not taking it. And it's that real ruthlessness that's costing them at the moment.
One thing I'll say about Leyton Orient, they always start seasons slow. And last year they started slow. I actually went through it. Last year, from the first 10, they won 2, they drew 2, and they lost 6. This year, they've won 3, they've drawn 2, they've lost 5. They're 3 points better off. They're at 11 points. They need to stop. The reason why they start so slow because they rely heavily on the loan market and they try and reproduce every year, and they don't. Stevenage do it on a bit more of a limited resource, I think. They don't try and they do things differently. But Stevenage know what they're about. We know them well, and they've jumped into this season. Yes, Leyton Orient were better last year, but the core of Stevenage's squad is still together, and they've added a few gems to it, and they've added a bit of quality and what they needed. Look, Stevenage only scored 14 goals on the road last year. That was the second fewest. Bristol Rovers scored 13. Stevenage have now scored 9 in the first 5. That's a joint most in the division to Peterborough. So there's been a huge swing there as well. Peterborough converting the shots when they're on top, 15.6, slightly lower than that Lincoln. But they've nearly won 50% of the games, Stevenage. They won 15 last year. They won 7 so far this year. They weren't bad last year, Stevenage, and they just didn't score goals. And play style annoys me. Me and Jack Kershaw have this argument all the time. I'm very old school. I like a well-structured team. I want them to get the ball forward quickly, get balls out wide, play through the lines, get crosses into the box, and play through the middle. And play midfielders, play forwards, run forwards. Stevenage are effective at what they did. I think that Leyton Orient had more accurate long balls yesterday than direct Stevenage, which I thought amused me. Richie Wellens I love, but I think we called him out. Can't remember what game it was. They lost at home last year, and I think they won the next 5 games after this. It was a home game where they lost maybe 2-1, or it might have been Wycombe or someone like Wycombe, or they lost anyway. I think it was a Northampton game. They lost at home last year. And he came out and said a few things. And I went, I think his demeanour, I can see when it goes well under Richie Wellens, it goes really well. But when it goes a bit pan a little bit and it goes well, you can see that he's a bit dour, sour apples. But it works. And it does. There will be a period where that doesn't work. It really will. And he's done a great job at that football club. He signed numerous long-term deals there as well, it's felt. Especially, I think he signed 2 long-term deals in the last maybe 12 to 18 months. Being in the press rooms in the last maybe 6 to 8 months, press rooms are a hard place to be after a game. Emotions run high, whether you've won, lost, or drawn. If you gave him half an hour, would he be saying those things? Probably not. They always start slow. They lost 5 of the opening 10. But there's positive signs in there for Orient where I think they can be a good team. Maybe not the levels that they were. And expectations arose with Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient is probably squad to probably a top 10, top 12 team. And if it finishes there, it's a good year. Because they overachieved last year, now anything seems, when they lose, it's poor. So a bit like Stevenage last year, their finish was seen as a failure because the year before they did better. Bit like Lincoln last year because they finished 7th the year before, it was seen as a failure. So they have put expectation on themselves. But I think full credit must go to Stevenage. They've been winning games of football. Ravel's done a great job. His football last year wasn't great. There was talks from, with fans losing faith in them with the way they're playing in Christmas time. They've been brilliant in 2025. They've got a team. And I love the back line. I love that they fight for each other and they're united as well. And they're the smallest club on attendance in the division. And they're winning games of football at home. And for me, there'll be deducted points at the end of the year because they don't have 15,000 fans going through the gates.
That's how we made enemies with Bolton last time. Let's not
tell you what, those people who were slagging us off, we've come a long way with, I must say. So, great win for Orient, bumps in the road, and I do think there will be a lot better. Talking of Bolton, Jake, Northampton 2, Bolton 1, just 0. Northampton have actually only conceded 1 goal in 5 matches at home. I wonder where that came in. That 1-0 defeat to Lincoln.
Have it, Dave Nash.
Which was an unbelievable finish by Freddie Draper on the night. And that was only Lincoln's shot on target that night. Only Stevenage just conceded as few goals at home as the Cobblers. That 1 goal coming last week against Exeter. 4 wins in the last 5 for Cobblers. 3 at home, One away, won that away game being at LEYTON OREINT, beating EXETER, BLACKPOOL, and now BOLTON at home. You've scored 6, conceded 0 with that defeat last weekend at WICAN. Great win for them. The Shoe Army, I was very harsh on them recently, and they've gone and proved me wrong. You see the atmosphere after the game with the shoes, and I'm very amused by that, I must say.
Do you understand it?
The Shoe Army, I get it, mate.
Do you know why they're called the Shoe Army?
Go on, tell me.
Well, Northampton is very famous for its for cobblers, which are the people that make shoes.
Oh, so fair enough. Anyway, so stop making me look stupid than I already am. No, and you can feel like he's building a lads group that fight for each other, and that camaraderie will get you through. And I like it. I really like it. We'll come to Bolton in a minute, but great win for Cobblers, Jake. Showing quality. And again, 2 quick-fire goals as well.
Yeah, 2 quick-fire goals. Good from Cam McGeehan. Thought he was excellent in that sort of advanced position. And yeah, they didn't have many moments yesterday, but they took them, didn't they? And they capitalised on a really poor performance from Teddy Sharman-Lowe in the opposition box. But I thought resolutely, I thought they were good, apart from a couple of opportunities where they gave Mason Burstow the freedom of the industrial estate behind the goal to try and score before he dragged it wide. But I thought Fitzsimons in goal, brilliant. I thought he handled the area really well, commanded, marshalled the back line. I thought they were fantastic out of possession, like you have to be against Bolton. They ask a lot of questions of you. To keep a clean sheet against a Bolton side that have got the players that they have, Cozy Dewberry, Gale, Force and Burstow were 4 of the most informed forwards in the entire league. So to keep them quiet for an entire 90 is relatively pleasing. Sam Hoskins, another goal for them, for him, which will be really important as he aims to try and become the club's record ever goal scorer. I think he is the record EFL scorer. But yeah, a really good performance from Northampton. Really resolute, good out of possession. Exactly what, it's a perfect performance for when you're playing a side like Bolton. I thought they were brilliant. The subs even coming on and affecting the game. Jack Vale, bless him, he came on, ran around, did his bit. Kamari Swire, that's his name. He came on and looked pretty bright for Tyrese Fawn, and Nesta Guinness-Walker as well in the back line, shoring it up. So, yeah, I think a very positive performance for Northampton. That's the bar now. Kevin Nolan will set that as the bar, and any performance under that level will be unacceptable. But they're certainly making a good fist of it, and Kevin Nolan knows what he knows. He knows how to do the basics very well. And yesterday they did them extremely well against a good Bolton side. So, yeah, I thought they took advantage of a weak goalkeeping performance, but I think a lot of teams have taken advantage of that for Bolton, because I don't know about you, Ben, but I've been very disappointed in Teddy Sharman-Lowe since he's arrived at Bolton. I know he's highly rated. I know he's highly thought of at Chelsea, but I feel like every shot that goes on target goes in the back of the net for Bolton at the moment.
Yeah, agree with you. Bolton's first defeat in 10, so I'm not going to be overly critical. With Bolton, I said it in my video I made about them, which got great feedback, so thank you very much for everyone that watched that and supported that. That there is still a glimpse in Bolton where there's still that little bit of a switch off where they can go and put in, I said a 1-0 to Huddersfield. I think they've got Huddersfield on a Thursday night coming up as well. Or away from home, I just don't feel they can go and dig it out regularly enough. They're yet to win away. They did lose to Stockport, but they've drawn the last 3, which, to be fair, the last 4 away games, which Stockport, Barnsley, Blackpool and LEYTON OREINT and Northampton, that's a tough opening 5 away from home. There's a lot of distance travelled in there, and you've got 2 sides in Blackpool and Barnsley that, in Stockport, who are you fancy at the start of the season, wouldn't you? So I'm not going to be too critical. They have been drawing games. At home, they've been better. Away from home, they need to switch it on. When they get 1 win, I think they'll go and get a few. They just need to go and grind things out. They're still a very fancy team. They're a flary team. They're a young team in transition. I still feel it needs a little bit of experience, and they need to work together as a team to get through those tough moments. When the tough gets going, Bolton a little bit times flat. When it goes really well for them, Bolton are a cushy and they're fine. And I just feel that when they can't break through a side, they get frustrated and things don't drop for them. Yesterday, they conceded 2 shots in, 3 minutes, and they conceded them both. They conceded 3 shots on target yesterday. One was a penalty. The other one was a rebound that scored, and the other one ends in the back of the net. Bolton still dominated that game in terms of shots on target, in terms of possession, but couldn't find a way to win. And that is where they need to start winning uglier. We need to find an ugly side. Bolton are very glamorous, but we need to see an ugly side to them. And when we do, I think we'll start to see they've had the most shots in the division. And it doesn't surprise me that Steven Schumacher is a home form manager. I think we saw that at Plymouth when he went in there, after Ryan Lowe, that how good were they at home under, especially Ryan Lowe, and for those years that Plymouth got promoted on their home bed of form, and obviously until he obviously left for Stoke, he did a really good job, and he builds foundations at home. It's just away from home, and if they can turn those draws into wins and those losses into draws, there's a sign of a good team there. I just need to see Bolton win 2 or 3 games on the spin, then we will have a good team. If you could already give us, if you're not already, sorry, give us a like, subscribe, loads of League 1 and 2 content coming. Thank you for 18,000 subscribers, which we hit today. We're trying to progress to 19,000 subscribers. Can we get it by the end of the year? Big ask, maybe. Let's try and so every subscriber helps. You can be the difference. 81% of the people that watched my Bolton video weren't subscribed, and 71% of the people that watched this last week were not subscribed. So if you could do us a favour, go and subscribe down below. Wigan 0, Cardiff 2. No side of more points away from home this year than the Bluebirds. 11 points on the road, and the Bluebirds are the only team in League 1 yet to lose away from home, picking up those points. And are one of 7 clubs in the FL yet to lose away from home. 4 in the Championship that have all played 4. 2 in League 2, being Gillingham and Oldham Athletic, who predominantly drawn. Now, one thing I really like about this Cardiff performance, I have seen enough now to say, right, okay, every time they'd won early in the year, I'm like, yeah, it's good, but I want to see this. I want to see this. And I've been very harsh on this Cardiff City group. One thing I like about them is that when they lose the ball, they often win it back in the final third. They have got the most interceptions and ball carries and ball wins back in the final third. Shows you how pressing hard they are, how in teams' faces they are, and how predominantly good they have been. And a great win yesterday against the Wigan side. And Wigan had 1 shot on target. Were predominantly a really good side at home, attacking heavy and getting teams' faces. And this Wigan side hadn't lost a game of football at home, had taken 10 points from a possible, 12. This Cardiff side went away from home, had 5 shots on target. And what I like about it more, the last 2 weeks, for the first time, Cardiff were tested. Stockport and Bradford got in the face, got balls out wide, got crossed into the box, had shots on Nathan Trott, and really didn't bully them, but imposed themselves. And Cardiff couldn't quite handle Stockport for large periods, but come away with a point, as good sides do. Couldn't handle Bradford last week, lost the game of football. To bounce back like that, for a young group that have only been together, for 2 or 3 months now, young manager, still, developing nicely in the game, and you really feel a team togetherness there, which I really like. Now, this squad for the last few years, Cardiff as a football club, it's been sliding down, hasn't it? They've not had good moments, and coming down to League 1, it helped Birmingham, it's helped Ipswich, it's helped Sunderland, it's helped so many clubs. It can be the start of something, it can be the start of a new dawn. You win games of football, you get the fans back on side. And it feels like this young group now is coming together. And it is still a young group. Colwell, excellent yesterday. Perry and G, he's 29 now. But for me, he'll always be that young footballer that was coming through at Crewe Alexander that was so good there. He was so good there for so many years. And they've still got experience in the likes of Trott, Chambers. So I'm really liking this Cardiff group. They've bounced back from adversity. They've come back from a tough moment. And they've back with a clean sheet. Deserve to win that game of football. Gone away at Wigan Athletic. Tuesday night to Burton. They'll be thinking if we can get a win there. But look, if they can win back-to-back home games, it's a great win. I know it's hypothetical. Also, it takes you to 26 points from a possible 11, which is absolutely phenomenal. And great start. They've only conceded 5 goals still. Another clean sheet. Cardiff did everything yesterday that they've been good at in those first 9 games. I've been heavily, not critical, but asking them questions. Are they the real deal? There's still a lot of work to be done. There's still tough moments to go through. There'll be tougher moments in that Bradford game. They might not win for 2 games. They might not be win for 3 games. But now we can say Look, they've had 2 bad games, but they've bounced back, which is good. Every team in this league will go for a 3 or 4 or maybe a 5-game bad spell. Cardiff have gone through a 2-game bad spell and bounced back nicely. 4th in the league, 20 points collected. Great win yesterday.
They cut through Wigan like a knife through butter, didn't they, yesterday on occasion? And they maybe should have had more than just the 2 which they did score. Yeah, I thought the way they scored that first goal, really good team move. Wigan just couldn't live with them on occasions. And then that first half, like I say, they couldn't live with them and they were cutting through them. And it was really difficult for Wigan to stay in that game. It felt like Wigan's main opportunities came from set pieces. That might be one area where we see Cardiff slightly susceptible in the future. So teams that are nasty and good at set pieces and get the elbows out and are a little bit good at the dark arts. I'm intrigued to see how they stand up physically against a team that are solely like that. So, yeah, it was a good performance from them. Really good goal, definite penalty for the pull on Salek at the end. No complaints there from Wigan, I wouldn't have thought, but they didn't. Yeah, I thought they didn't have to be brilliant, but they did the job very well. Barry Murphy's got them, this group together, played really good football. A massive emphasis around the youth. I mean, you look at the lads that played yesterday, a lot of those are lads that have come through the academy or are still very young. So, yeah, fantastic win for Cardiff. It just shows you that they are one of those teams to be feared. They are one of those sides that are going to be at the top end of the league this year because they can bounce back from adversity, like you say, Ben. So, yeah, massive win for them, really important. And like you say, they've got back-to-back home games now this week, Burton and LEYTON OREINT on Saturday. They'll be thinking they can get 6 points from that, like you say. As for Wigan, yeah, I don't know about Wigan, Ben. I know that they've had a bit of a tough week, haven't they? 3 straight defeats. I know Ryan Lowe's had the players in today to try and see if they can, talk the way out of the slump that they're in. I mean, you look at the stats yesterday. We talk about how Wigan are so free flowing and forward. 1 shot on target yesterday. That was a very Sean Maloney-esque performance from a Ryan Lowe Wigan team yesterday. 27% possession, no shots on target, just the 13 touches in the Cardiff penalty area whatsoever. Whether that's because Wigan were poor or they were playing a very controlling team. And trust me, I know a thing or two about controlling. I don't know, but it's a great win for Cardiff. Wigan, like I say, they've come up against a good side, so yeah, I think they'll be back to their usual tricks. But yeah, a massive win for Cardiff.
Yeah, I can back you up on that last point. Yeah, I agree with you on Wigan. An hour in and we've done 5 games. Welcome to League One Live. 7 games still to go here on League One Live. We're not going to rush through. We'll give every team the respect they deserve. Barnsley 0, Port Vale 2. Now, it wasn't falling to Port Vale. They were playing well, scoring goals. Stevenage at home, 1-0 up late on. LEYTON OREINT probably should have a point. Burton, they go and get a point away from. They should win against Cardiff, probably, with the chances created. They just weren't getting it. And they pulled together 3 wins on the spin. And I highlighted these. Well, I highlighted, 3 of the next 4 games. Didn't highlight Barnsley. I wrote that one off. But to go away at Exeter, to beat Mansfield at home, and to back it up, they don't win this game of football if they don't win the other 2, in my eyes. To go away at Barnsley and not just win, but put in a really good, complete performance, score 2 goals for the 4th game running, and the 3rd game run, score 2 goals and win the game. Barnsley didn't have a shot on target yesterday. Who have been really good at home, scoring goals, been free-flowing, been entertaining, been attacking heavy. Conor Horahan's implemented his way. They went away and stunned Barnsley and were absolutely outstanding. Had 8 shots on target themselves. Devante Cole, yet again, didn't score yesterday, but nice movement in behind, was always an extra man, wanted to cause problems. So good to see Crowsdale with the goal. And it almost felt that Port Vale were at their best, what we can see. Darren Moore says when they get on a run, they can be great. Look, they've won 50% of the games already away from home in the last 2 weeks than they did in the entirety of the last time they were in this division. This side is a lot better than the side that was here last time. Back-to-back 2-0 away wins for Port Vale. They needed it because, again, they were sliding, playing well. And it's almost, if that carries on all of a sudden the next game becomes disastrous and you lose a negative mindset and the performances will weaken, the performances won't get any better. But, Gabriel and Crozell with goals, getting goals from all over. They're getting no goals from the other players a few weeks ago. Barnsley, first back-to-back defeats of the season and first back-to-back defeats since April last year, where they lost to Exeter and Birmingham in that run. But great win for Port Vale. Needed it. 3 wins on the spin and scoring goals now.
Yeah, I thought they were very good. Certainly on a counter-attack. There were several occasions in that game yesterday where they hit Barnsley on the counter very quickly at the end of the pitch. DeJean Brown is a massive part of that. His pace and directness really caused the back four of Barnsley no end of issues. And Devante Cole, I know he got booed and jeered yesterday, but I think that sort of spurred him on. I thought he had a very good game and maybe could have scored himself. He forced Murphy Cooper into a very, very good save. So clearly continuing that very good start from his point of view. But the goals he did score, great goal from Jordan Gabriel, get his first goal for Port Vale. Thought it was a well-worked goal. Like I say, Brown causing issues down the left-hand side and getting the ball across for Gabriel. And then Crosdale to wrap the points up right at the end. A lovely cultured finish into the bottom corner. I don't think the keeper was going to save it. I mean, for Barnsley, Ben, I know there's been a lot of talk about the midfield combination of Bland and Connell. Apparently, according to a lot of supporters, they're too similar. They're trying to do the same sort of job. I think it's probably better with Connell and Russell. Russell more naturally that sitting midfielder, whereas Connell can be the one that buzzes around a little bit, win the ball back and play the ball into your wide players and Adam Phillips. I feel like Bland tries to do the same job as Connell, so therefore it doesn't look as effective. And when you've got two players trying to do the same job, it can look a little bit chaotic and you can leave yourself open at the back like Barnsley did on the counter-attack yesterday. So, yeah, fair play to Vale. I've written them off quite heavily this season, and to come back, this was a game I'm sure their fans had put down as a defeat, not one that they're expecting to get a result from, but fair play to them. They hit them on the counter. They took the moments when they came, and that's what Port Vale will need to do this year, because away from home, they won't have many moments in many games you wouldn't expect. So to take them and keep them out of the other end is massively impressive. So fantastic win for Port Vale.
Can you do me a favour? Can you read that how Ben Gill would say that?
Hey, these boys are right wallies, but we love them. That's how I would say it. And then have you noticed he's been sending me a little bit of this week? I don't know if he sent it out to you. Oh,
respect,
right.
respect.
All right, Jose. All right.
Respect. Yeah. Bradford 1, Blackpool 0. Blackpool are pointless on the road. I want the two sides yet to pick up a point on the road this term. And once again, I'm scratching my head. It's 11 players out there just asked to go out and play. I think it's no tactics, it's just vibes at this point. I really do. They've got real quality, and they were in the game. They had moments of quality. They had chances from edge of the box on the breakaway. Bowler had one, I think Fletcher had one, but they're straight to the keeper. And it almost feels like, oh, lads, go and do this and rinse and repeat. And I just feel that it needs like a Brian Barry Murphy. It needs, Critchley was a good coach, but not a great manager. It needs a good coach in there. And I think that's what they're lacking. I think that they're lacking severe coaching and a philosophy. And I think Bruce is saying, I want you to play this way, but how? How do you want me to play this way? And it's like, I think they look confused on the pitch. They look a bit disorganised, which Blackpool aren't. 20th for goals conceded and goals scored. Expected goals the worst in the division. Possession 18th. Expected goals conceded 9th most. Under Bruce, people go, he came in last year and did a good job. Did he? 19 wins, 15 draws, 15 defeats since going into the football club. At home, to be fair, lost 5 and 25. They've won 9. They've drawn a lot of games at home where better managers would probably go for the jugular a little bit more. 38 points, just 25 home games is poor. In just my opinion, and away from home, 34 points across, 4 matches. It's not great, that, is it? So, yeah, we'll come on to Bradford in a minute. For Blackpool, I'm struggling to see. For Bradford, though, Jake, great win yesterday. And Bradford are lower down this week. And that's credit to Bradford, because how good Bradford are, them beating Blackpool 1-0 at home isn't a shock. It isn't really deemed as, oh, is that great? Because A, it's 1-0, but B, it's Blackpool at home who are struggling. But Bradford, because it's the norm for them winning games of football at home, they'd rinse and repeat. They've played 5 games at home. They've won all 5. The only team in League One to do so. They scored 11 goals, 15 points collected. They're on absolute flames. They had a tough period against Doncaster. They've won the last 3 since 3-1, 3-1, 1-0. So the difference tied to the bell yesterday. I didn't think they were at their free-flowing best yesterday. Only had 3 shots on goal, but they found a way to win the game. I think the Newcastle game, maybe as a football club, was the big agenda this week. Blackpool was at the end of the week. You just want to get through it and get through with a win. They can now have a little bit of time to reevaluate. They play Thursday night this week away at Rotherham, which is the type of game that Bradford City would lose 1-0 or 2-1 or 3-1. Knowing what Bradford are like, especially at Doncaster, in Yorkshire derbies, this is the test now. Rotherham are not a great outfit. We'll come to them shortly. That is a test. Bradford 1, Blackpool 0.
Yeah, they like beating teams from the Fylde Coast 1-0, don't they? You must be gutted.
Yeah, mate, I don't care, because that day I was absolutely like that when he scored. Woo! I get paid.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought they were good. I did. Although, in fairness, Blackpool did have moments in this game where, and I think you could tell a little bit. I thought Bradford were a little bit leggy, and I think you can tell they put, like we sort of said about Lincoln, and you can maybe make the same point about Port Vale and Doncaster as well, which we'll come on to later. They put so much effort into midweek. Bradford. They were so. I mean, they ran really hard away at Newcastle, where they didn't have a lot of the ball. But I thought you could tell, which is not a bad thing at all. But to come away with a result and still look leggy is very, very impressive. It just shows if you're beating a side like Blackpool, who at the start of the season many people put in the top 6 because of the quality. I think, like you say, that just shows you how far Bradford City have come over the last couple of weeks or so. Yeah, I thought the goal was really well taken. It's a good ball across, and Josh Neufville, he has one later on in the game that I think he should score as well. He puts it into the side netting, but this one's a really good finish across the keeper. Does everything right, head down, strikes it really fiercely, and yeah, the Blackpool keeper is getting absolutely nowhere near it. So, yeah, I thought it was a very good performance for Blackpool. They fear nobody at Valley Parade whatsoever, and so right. I'd like to formally apologise to a couple of players in that Bradford side. Certainly Max Power, I thought he was past it, but he is running strings in midfield. He is, I mean, I should really be one to talk about experience positively, given the impact of Collins and Bradley and Adam Reach, and Tendai Darikwa, but he was outstanding. He just brings a level of coolness, a real dictatorship to that midfield, and he helps Tommy Lee get through the work, and they give it to Power to distribute and play it out to the wing backs who are so effective. And also Sam Walker, I was questioning him a little bit. I know that in League 2 is a very, very good goalkeeper, but I know the step up can be very brutal sometimes. But he, again, yesterday made some really good saves. There's one down to his right. The Bradford players are putting their bodies on the line. They're just a real feel-good factor around Valley Parade at the moment. They're a bit of a problem, Bradford, for every other big team that wants to get promoted out of this league. They've got this wave that they're on, and it doesn't look like they're going to stop. They're fantastically well coached. They're good at what they do, and they're effective. Bradford are doing really well, and it's really nice to see. Just hoping that we get that game called off in a couple of weeks for international break, just to try and stop the momentum. That is the best compliment I could give them. I want that game called off because Bradford City are a problem at the moment. So to try and stop them, I want that game to be postponed. So, yeah. Good win for Blackpool. No, for Bradford. Blackpool, no. No, not a good win for Blackpool.
Blackpool, Blackpool, no cohesion, I think. It's the best word to say, like you said in the chat. Bradford, excellent, great win for them. That's the standard now. Got to keep going, got to keep plodding on. It carries on. Why can't this side go up? Why can't this side go and threaten? Believe. Football's about believing. I've not done that for ages. And Bradford fans, believe. Be excited. enjoy it, enhance every victory. You know, celebrate your victories, enjoy your wins.
Correct.
You know, 'cause the losses get to you, and everyone always dreams about having that season, having that year. I know I do. I'd love it. Feeling together, feeling part of something, together as one. Steve Bratnell would say. But enjoy it. Enjoy these ups. Enjoy. There'll be plenty of downs as a football supporter. You know, eventually, where the tide will turn, you might win 1 in 10. You know, eventually, again, it will happen again in your life. Enjoy it. Enjoy every second of it right now while you're up there, because Bradford City are unbelievable and they are playing some phenomenal, you know, football, and got managers on long-term deals now and got a really good squad. There's no reason why not. Let's race through these games now. Wimbledon 2, Wycombe 1. Wimbledon have won 6 of their opening 10 in league. Won 4 out of 5 at home. Only conceded 3 goals at home and been strong. Michael Duff has come in, been in the building a week now. Got to win and got to defeat, and also got to win in the cup as well. But for AFC Wimbledon, in the playoffs after 10 games, I bet they weren't expecting that, because even the last time they were in League One, they got relegated and they won 6 games all season. They won 6 games last time they were in this division. They drew 19, lost 21. They went down with 37 points. They were 3 points adrift of 40 points that year that stayed up that division. I don't know who did that. But again, fine margin football, Jake, that so many times at Wimbledon in League Two did. They won the last 4 games of the year, won on the last day, 1-0. The 3 playoff games, 1-0. Beat Rotherham, 2-1. Beat Doncaster, 2-1. And what I like even more, their last kind of couple of games, really, before yesterday, they've gone behind in games. Yesterday, they went 2-0 up, conceded, and got through that difficult spell. They lost 4 games in all competitions, with an EFL Cup, 2 in the league, and 1 in the EFL Trophy. Since then, they've won 4 games, 3 in the league and 1 in the EFL Trophy. It's been a great bounce-back ability. Great victory for them.
Very good. And I thought Omar Bugil was outstanding. I mean, it's the 2 goal scorers. Eh? When he runs around, I love Rico Hackett. I'll be honest. I will. I do.
There you are.
Yes. Yeah, no, it was a good win for Wimbledon. Omar Bugil, fantastic. That different option up front, a little bit more physicality, the great flick on for the first goal, and the real tidy interplay to set up Steve Seddon for a very good finish. I thought they were good value for it. Wimbledon completely dominated that first half. Wycombe completely asleep. And then yeah, the second half, Wycombe came into it massively. They hit the bar. Ewan Henderson gets a nice goal. I don't know what you're rolling your eyes for. Ewan Henderson scored. Have you seen the incident, Ben, at the bottom, at the end of the game, where Wycombe equalised, but it's called for a foul, and the Wycombe bench is absolutely fuming. If you've seen the highlights, you would have seen it. It was a little bit bizarre, but yeah, Wycombe, to be fair to them, they tried to turn the key a little bit. Unfortunate to do so. They had moments, shots from outside the box. They were mainly sort of left with. Sam Bell went very close, stuck one just wide. So yeah, no, it was a good win for them. But like you say, very good at home. They're making that patch very difficult to go to. It's a tough place. They get behind the team. The atmosphere is very,
sides.
Beat
good sides.
Yeah, they beat good sides. The fans are close to the pitch. They make it difficult for you. The lot behind the goal are singing. That Womble's banging on the bloody bin all the time. It's an hard place to go.
I learned that last year.
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, the refugee geezer making his videos. It's an intimidating thing to be on. Do you know what I mean? So
it's like when you have Todd's vlogs.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it was a very good win. They're very strong at home. Wycombe, it's a blip under Michael Duff. They've been very effective since he's come in. I expect Wycombe to win more games under Michael Duff. I think they can count this one off as a 3rd game in a week, and they can be at it again on Saturday.
It's been a weird start. Well, I'll say that in a bit. Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 games to go. We're now 15 minutes in. Another team pointless on the road is Rotherham United. Them and Blackpool. They've only scored twice on the road, conceded 9. And my issue again is that away from home, we're seeing we're seeing similar signs, and we're seeing signs that they're starting the game okay, and they're getting themselves in. Well, they're getting themselves in good positions. Hugill scored early against AFC Wimbledon. Hugill scores early against Mansfield.
They
lose both games of football.
They won a penalty.
And I didn't think so either. But anyway, let's carry on. My issue is they are losing games of football, and that squad, I hate to say it, but I think it's diabolical. I really do. And Matt Hamshaw got the job last year, and I think he got it because he wanted to go Paul Warren approach again, and he knew the football club, and he won 3 games back to back to back. And it was like, wow, when the season didn't really matter, they just came away with something. And the squad isn't great, but I don't think it's well coached, if I'm honest with you, at all. 3 shots on target again. Yes, he's so naive on the road. They beat an Exeter and Port Vale at home. Let's not get the caviar about that. He's got the fewest touches in the opposition box. He's got the 3rd lowest expected goals, 2nd highest expected goals conceded. Stats are manipulative, but stats, I think, tell the true story on Rotherham United. And
we know a thing about manipulation, don't we, Ben, as well as control. So yeah, we're big fans of that.
And we know all about. And I just feel that this Rotherham team are a game away from a hissy fit. Do you know what I mean? That you know all about that as well. But I just feel they are 2 or 3 games away from crisis. And the Rotherham fans, I think, are becoming disillusioned now. They're not happy. Look, you won 3 games in a row when the Hams when he first came in. Since then, they've won 3, they've drawn 3, they've lost 9 of 15 matches. It's 12 points collected, but they've lost 9 of 15. Over the course of the season, you're losing 27, 28 games. It's not great, is it? Let's be honest.
No, they are losing too many games. And you look at that team, Ben.
By margins are losing games, we will say.
But you look at that team on paper, Ben. It's not a bad side, is it? You look at the players. You know, Cam Dawson's a good keeper at this level. Reece James, Joe Powell, Josh Benson, Jordan Hugill, Dan. I know, admittedly, Gore, Spence, and Coletta and Hall and Agabert are maybe slightly inexperienced, but they've got some experience in that team, and they play like they don't. They play as if they're 18-year-olds all the time. They've got no street smarts. They are really poor, certainly in big moments, and they're certainly missing that Sam Nomble up front, aren't they? The man who scored,
we're being honest.
I just wanted you to look good, mate. That was all. But to have him missing is a real problem for Rotherham, because last year they turned to him so many times and he stood up and provided the moments. And I thought they were poor again. But let's not give discredit Mansfield. I thought they were very good. They took their opportunities at the right moments. They scored a nice goal with Tyler Roberts, his first goal for the club since arriving on loan from our favourite club in the Championship, Birmingham City. And Dom Dwyer. Estelle and Kanye West would be very pleased with Dom Dwyer, a lovely American boy, scoring a winning goal in the last minute. And it was a good header as well, and a very good ball in. But even then, going back to Rotherham, like the foul for the goal, the winning goal that happens, he doesn't need to make the foul. Like, the lad doesn't need to foul the Mansfield player. He's going towards the corner flag, or out of play. He's going nowhere. But he makes the naive decision and fouls him. So, yeah, I think it's really poor for Rotherham. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Hamshaw is the next one to go. To be honest, I think he's been quite fortunate to last as long as he has. But I guess that Rotherham connection really does.
In April,
hey,
and he only got appointed in April.
It says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. Exeter 0, Huddersfield 1. Huddersfield again scored from a moment of quality through Leo Castleton, and they only had 1 shot on target, but they had 12 off target. They hit the woodwork. They had a couple of opportunities over the bar. They dug it out yesterday. They had 22 shots overall. Shots are a manipulative thing. Fleetwood keep getting asked about this, and Pete Wild, I'm not going to say anything, but Pete Wild made a point to come over to me yesterday and say, do you know that only 30% of the shots that we're conceding are reaching our goal? It's either going wide or on our... I'm like, oh, right, yeah. I'm like, okay, thanks for telling me, Pete. I'm like, hope he's not watched. But anyway, 22 shots yesterday for Huddersfield. A lot, obviously, were blocked. Exeter, again, they were spirited. They dug in. They stuck in the game, but they've lost 1-0. And every year around this time of the season, it gets to the end of September, the autumn nights kick in, and it starts getting darker, starts getting a bit chillier. Exeter start crumbling, don't they? They won 3, lost 3 of the first 6. Since then, they've lost their last 4 games. With respect, bar the VALE game at home, they've lost all the games by 1 goal, and they've been in them. I thought last week at Stevenage, I think that last 2 games, they could maybe warrant themselves for a point in definitely the Stevenage game. You know, potentially the Rotherham game is a 1-goal game. It's disappointing. I don't know where to stand with Exeter's team because it's like it can go and be 3 or 4-1, but it can just go and lose 5 in a row and demolish itself. And Lincoln, Stockport, Reading, Plymouth, Wigan to come. You're just thinking they need to get themselves out of a rut. And I did mention the lack of quality in the squad at the start of the year. I'm still a bit worried for them. We'll come to Huddersfield in a minute.
Yeah, we both predicted Exeter to win this game, though, which was very
I did it just to annoy someone, to be fair. So,
right, I understand. Yeah, look, do you know what? I think I watched the highlights back of this game, and yeah, Huddersfield had chances, right? But so did Exeter. They hit the post, they hit the bar. Lee Nichols made a couple of good saves. To me, I watched the highlights. Admittedly, I've not seen the full game, and I'm sure James, our good friend in the comments, is gonna have me over for saying this. I watched the highlights and thought Exeter deserved something from the game. Admittedly, like I say, it's not the full 90. But they looked like they had a lot of big moments and chances that on another day they'd probably take. McGuinness, obviously, a real thorn for Huddersfield. So, yeah, I concur. I think they are a poor side, but I think they have been quite unfortunate. I think back to the Stevenage game last week where they conceded in the last couple of minutes. They always had opportunities to go in front in that game. They have had moments in games. It's just the quality. And when you're Exeter City...
Like Burton.
Eh?
Bit like Burton, have moments.
They've just the quality. The thing is with Exeter, they've got the money's got to stretch further, hasn't it? Because you've got to recruit a certain type of player. And you've got to recruit the quality. You can't just go and buy Joe Taylor for £3 million like Huddersfield can or something like that. So yeah, I think Exeter will have moments in every game that they're in. But I just don't have the ability to back them to put them away at this minute in time. So, yeah, I thought they were unfortunate yesterday. I thought they could have got something out of the game. But like we said last week, they do kind of find a way to get a result out of nowhere, and that concerns me. Given we're playing them next, they do. Gary Caldwell does find a result to keep his job. Safe when the naysayers are out. So. Yeah, I don't know. And Huddersfield, they had chances, Ben, yesterday, didn't they? I mean, Castledine was causing havoc down the left-hand side. He had one similar to the goal that he should have scored. Well, I say he should have scored. He put it just wide before he did score that wonderful curling effort. Joe Taylor had one that he missed. Lol. There was a couple that didn't.
Oh, BA, shut up.
And there is the nibble. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate that. That was as easy. Jimmy, that was very easy, that one. But yeah, I thought Huddersfield maybe they could have
a Lincolnshire. Next will go. I don't think Joe Taylor gets into our Lincoln side now.
I don't think he does. He don't even get in their team. So why would he get in our team? We're above him in the league table. So
No, last season he wasn't even that good.
Exactly. Well, 10 out of week was clear, bro. But yeah, no. Huddersfield, they just need to take the chances. And like I said, I've said it for a couple of weeks, a battering is coming. We'll just wait and see. But I'm sure it'll be there soon.
Again, they probed the Huddersfield. I like what they're about. And I think that you remind me a little bit of what they were like on the Duff. There's moments in them. And there's an entourage come in. And they went 16 unbeaten on this damn year last year, didn't they? And I don't know why I went full on. They went 16 unbeaten this time last year, didn't they? I don't know why I went full on, kind of tried to go Yorkshire and I didn't mean it. But no, a great victory for them. Clean sheet away. I think what pleased me more for them is they lost the last 3 games away. They beat Reading and look, they lost Blackpool, lost to Barnsley, and where's the other one that they lost to? Beginning with B. Barnsley and Blackpool. Who else have they lost to away? Huddersfield recently.
Bradford.
There we are. I know we begin with B. I couldn't think then.
Good job they didn't draw Brentford in the League Cup.
I know. I was trying to think, who else can they get? Blackpool. Who else can they get? Blackburn. No, it would be waterlogged and get called off. Great victory for Huddersfield. Scored with only shot on target, but they won the game of football. Exeter lost 4 on the spin, lost 7. If they'd drawn 2 of the game that they'd lost, 3 wins, 2 draws, 5 defeats, 3-2-5 doesn't sound too bad. When you say 3 wins, 7 defeats, 7 defeats in 10 sounds heavy. 5 doesn't, although you've drawn them and only got 2 extra points. So for Exeter, the next 5 games is mass. They can go and get 5 points, maybe 6 points from the next 5, just to kind of get out of this slump. Win maybe 1, draw 2, lose 2. Be realistic. I think they'll be okay. Grant McCann wants to manage in the Championship, Jake. I don't know if you heard his interview.
I did.
He said, do you remember when Richie Wellens came out and basically said, I want to manage the hour? Maybe just putting his name forward and thinking he's been overlooked. There is going to be some jobs in the Championship coming. I think he will want to wait there with Doncaster for the time being. Could I get to the place? I just thought that comment was very interesting. And Matty Pearson came out after him and said he wants to play in the Championship, which alarms me if he wants to play in the Championship. I feel like most players in League One could play in the Championship. But I won't be too disrespectful. With Doncaster, it almost felt a bit like Barrow at the start of last year in League Two, where they were winning games of football, but they were playing with momentum, and they felt like every shot they were shooting, they were scoring. They were low shots on target, low XG. Everything was like, but they were scoring goals, and they scored with 1 shot on target away at Vale. They beat Mansfield late on. They beat Exeter late on with a penalty kick 1-0. Everything was falling their way. And now it's felt like the last 3 games against Wigan away, it was Wimbledon at home last week, and away at Luton, with Tottenham in between. Look, it's a tough run, that. Wigan away and Luton away, you think, yeah, okay. The Wimbledon game's the suffering one, and the Tottenham, come on, you're playing Tottenham away, come on. Like, Premier League side that
should be winning there, shouldn't they, really?
Exactly, and they'll be disappointed, and they didn't get more, but that's the standard that Doncaster have set. I just feel like they were overachieving. And look, mid-table for Doncaster is a good year this year, and I don't feel that after now, if they go on a bit of a slump and they finish 14th, it'll be deemed as a good year for them. I think consolidating in this league is a good year for Doncaster.
Yes, sorry, Ben. I agree. And he had a moment yesterday, didn't they, with Jordan Gibson, that he played the ball across, but it was far too heavy for the centre forward. I think it was Demola Ajayi. Was it Demola Ajayi, the lad that's from Tottenham, number 30? No, it was the American fella. Lasagna. Fun fact, I had lasagna for me tea. It was bloody lovely. Anyway.
I had a burger. Wow.
Fantastic. It was heavy.
Well, no, I had a burger about 2:30, so it's too late for lunch, but yeah. I had a bit of yogurt and granola. There we are.
Look, this was a game with fine margins. Luton won it through a good goal from Naismith, good header. But they weren't. I think the big thing for Luton, Ben, and it certainly was, for their fans outside the ground last week, was they were calling for a back 4. And I thought that massively just benefits the players that they have available for this game. Yes, you may be playing Naismith slightly out of position as a left back, but you're allowing Miller Nicali to go and play as a left winger. You're allowing Shaden Morris to play as a right winger and not have to worry about defending. And we know about Shaden Morris in the Fleetwood shirt. He runs down wing for me and all that sort of thing. And that was exactly what I was quoting. So, yeah, they missed the penalty. It could have been more comfortable. But, yeah, I thought Luton, the shape was better. I think Matt Bloomfield has learnt the lesson. And, yeah, I think they were okay. They weren't spectacular, but they beat a good side in Doncaster Rovers, who didn't have many moments at all. And they restricted them, which is a real positive. So, yeah, good win for Luton, Ben.
Yeah, agree with you. Last game, Stockport County 1, Reading 1. Stockport's Carl Wharton has been involved in more League One goals this season than any other player. 8 games, 5 goals, 3 assists. netting in successive league games for the second time this season. Jack Marriott also scoring in his last 4 games that he's started for Reading, and all 4 games he started live there nicely. Reading another point on the board, but yet in another game where they've not won the game of football, and it is only 9 points collected. I've drawn 3 of the last 6, 1, 2, only lost 1 in the last 6, so they are improving. Just too many draws. Coming up against a Stockport side that are just outside the playoffs. They've won 2, they've drawn 2, they've drawn 3, so I lost 1 in the last 6. They just need to start winning more games. It's 4 wins, 4 draws, 2 defeats. Over the course of the season, they'll be bang near the playoffs, weren't they? But again, disappointment for County at home.
Yeah, and they have the chances to win it, to be fair to him. Jack Diamond has one which he should score. Fevrier puts one wide of the post as well. So, it was I think Stockport will walk away slightly more disappointed. Ben Hinchcliffe did make a really good save to keep Reading at 1-1. But, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Reading, they're not... I don't know, it's the clinicality of Reading a little bit. They're creating chances, but they're not scoring them. Jack Marriott took his chance very, very well, though, yesterday. But, I think, Stockport, to say they've been underwhelming, but they're still just outside the top 6. This Stockport team will be dangerous once it gets up and going. So, yeah, I think it was a better point for Reading than it was for Stockport. Shall we do predictions, Ben? We finally got there in an hour and a half.
We did well there.
I wasn't expecting to, but after the Lincoln game, we were at minute 50. I was thinking, oh, this is a little bit ropes. Right, should I'll tell you how we did this week, Ben, because we both got the same score.
Okay.
Both got 7 this week with 1 correct result. Do you know which one you got right? Can you guess? You've got a very lovely American boy to thank for yours.
I
think, yeah.
Mansfield.
You've got Dom Dwyer to thank for your 3 points, whereas the score I got was AFC Wimbledon to beat Wycombe by 2-1. So we've already predicted Tuesday night. Just a reminder, Ben went for a 3-1 Cardiff. I've gone 3-0. Ben's gone for Blackpool to beat Luton 2-1. I've gone for Luton to beat Blackpool 1-0. Moving on. Thursday night football, Ben. At the New York. Can't wait. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be a great game to watch. Coming to you, Rotherham United are going to get are playing Bradford City.
Rotherham 1, Bradford 1.
Interesting. I think the winning run continues. Rotherham United.
Oh my God, your hairline does not look good.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Oh no. Rotherham United 0.
Jesus Christ.
Bradford
at the back as Morecambe.
Bradford City 1. Wycombe Wanderers hosting Barnsley on. This is the Michael Duff derby on Saturday. I'm going to go Wycombe Wanderers 2, Barnsley 1.
Yeah, 2-0 Wycombe.
Coming to you for Doncaster Rovers against Burton Albion, Ben. 2 teams a little bit out of form. Difficult one to judge.
Doncaster 2, Burton 1.
God, that's brave of you to assume Burton are going to have a shot on target.
Going to get Doncaster's off.
We said this last week against Plymouth and they lost 4-0, so maybe I should go Donny 4, Burton 0. Donny 2, Burton 0. I think they're good.
Burton, I think one thing we must credit them. Look, they are one of the smallest teams in the division, and they get wrote off for this. No side is better at mini golf than Burton.
Pardon?
Did not see the video?
Yes, I saw the video. Yeah.
All right, Fire Stick. Jesus Christ! I thought Fire Stick lived in Huddersfield. Never mind.
Right, a bit of a local derby. Stevenage hosting Luton Town on Saturday.
Am I first?
No, I'm first. That's a really tough one. Oh, that's a really tough one. Stevenage 1, Luton 1.
I'm a big believer. I think this is a bigger game for Stevenage because Luton hate Watford. I think Stevenage, want to beat Luton. So I think Stevenage see more of a rivalry than Luton do, don't they? I'm guessing this is an early kickoff, is it?
No.
It's not. Wow. Okay. I think Luton win it 1-0.
Luton win it 1-0. Fair enough.
Luton either win or draw or lose. They don't draw.
Well, I've gone for a draw, so thanks, mate.
That sounds like a you problem.
Does now. Ben, coming to you for
You're used to
Reading.
making bad decisions, aren't you?
Yeah.
Letting people in when you shouldn't.
Coming on here. Reading versus Mansfield.
And that's why I call you selfish, Jay. I'm in full agreement with that. Reading against Mansfield. 2-1 Royals.
Yeah, at the Madstad. I was going to go Reading 1, Mansfield 0. So we play Port Vale are playing against Cobblers. Two pretty informed sides at this minute in time. I see Vale nicking it. Port Vale 2, Cobblers 1.
I wanted to go for that. I'll go 1-1.
Ben, coming to you. Plymouth Argyle taking on Wigan Athletic and Barry Worthington.
Charlie Keegan.
And Paul Thorpe. Yeah, very good.
What a trio. Charlie Keegan, what a guy. I've made him suffer the last couple of weeks because I've made him put him under the graphic that he very kindly helped us out with. I'm going to go for Plymouth Argyle 2, Wigan Athletic 0. Oh, it's all gone wrong for Ryan Lowe. Don't get too high. Don't get too low, Ryan Lowe. We've had to think about doing the Barnsley accent, by the way. I've had good men out. The lad who supports Barnsley who gives us stick every time that Barnsley lose. So I'll be here tonight after the video, slagging us off. Apparently, it was disrespectful and unoriginal.
Barnsley are rubbish. Enjoy writing your comment about that one, you loser. Plymouth Argyle 2, Wigan Athletic 1. Right, Ben. You first. Imps, Grecians at the bank.
This is the game where Lincoln always come unstuck. These types of games, Lincoln 1, Exeter 1.
I thought you might say that because I'm not fully confident. I'm going to go Lincoln City 1, Exeter 0. I think we'll win it very narrowly. I think we'll just about get it done. Swapping the page over. Huddersfield versus Stockport. Quite a decent little game at Huddersfield. I'm going to go Huddersfield 2, Stockport 1.
Ooh.
Stockport good at getting results at big grounds, aren't they?
And I know it, and I can feel glares. What do you go with?
2-1.
I go for Huddersfield. No, I'm not going to go. Huddersfield 2, Stockport 0.
2-0. Fair enough. Cardiff versus LEYTON OREINT. It's you first, yeah. It's you first.
Yeah. Cardiff City 2, LEYTON OREINT 1. This is the type of game that Richie Wellens, he's had a meltdown, he goes and wins. What's the history of the Richie Wellens?
I think we have Cardiff City 3, LEYTON OREINT 2, I think. Bolton Wanderers versus Peterborough United. I'm going to go Bolton.
100th minute last time, wasn't it?
Penalty. Bilo saved. Yeah, I remember.
That saved the inevitable, didn't it?
It did.
You know something? I got asked about him yesterday. Pete, I was talking to him, I was like, oh, yeah. He never thought, no, actually, I can't have him here. Imagine me doing Godcast with him. Jesus Christ.
I think Bolton get back on. The horse here. Bolton 1. I don't think it's going to be as comfortable. Bolton Wanderers 2, Peterborough 0.
Thanks, mate. Bolton 2, Peterborough 1.
And finally, Ben, coming to you for Blackpool versus AFC Wimbledon.
Blackpool 2, AFC Wimbledon 0.
Didn't you say?
Well, why is it in this order? Why is Blackpool last? How about we get to the B?
Sofa score.
Oh,
mate.
you've got Wardy. You're one of those.
Blackpool 1, AFC Wimbledon 1.
Respect it. Respect it.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Thanks everyone for watching tonight. Thanks,
That's
Jake.
100 minutes. 100 minutes of League One lot. We said we'd get 140. We'll be 141 next week. An hour and 41.
If you could like, subscribe, that'd be appreciated. It'd help us out. It'll trickle our way up. We all appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jake, thanks for joining me as always.
Thank you, mate. I've enjoyed that one. It was a relatively easy show to do today, as you can imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Tiring, but
should we show people the Danny Cowley video, or is that?
Yeah, you make it. You put it on.
You want me to put it on?
Oh, do you want me to put it on?
Oh, I can do it. I've got it
Go
on. I watched it earlier. Wait there. Hold on. I need to turn me thing on. I don't know if people are going to be able to hear it. This is the problem, right?
Put it into your microphone.
Here we are. I'll play it into the mic.
Hang on. Let me see if I can. Hang on. I'll put it in. Keep talking to everyone. I'll leave.
I'll just talk, shall I? Oh, we're in the circle. You can't. Whoa. Hello, everyone.
Oh, hang on.
Bye everyone. Bloody look. I'm not sure I like this circle, Pov. NGL.
Don't know why it's doing this. Hang on.
What is going on? Oh, I'm in a little. Help me! Help me! Oh, he's got. I don't know if he's. Has he disappeared? I think he might have gone.
I've not gone. Keep speaking. I'll play video. Give us a minute.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to League One Live. We're about to go through the 12 League One games from this weekend. Starting off with Burton Albion 0, Plymouth Argyle 4. David, I don't know if you want to leave again. Oh, this is different. This is nice. I don't know what we're doing here. What are we doing? Oh, there's someone there, but I don't know who it is. It might be someone random. What did everyone have for tea tonight then? That's what I want to know. What did everyone have for the dinner? Oh, everyone's gone at this point because we've said goodbye. I've just been sent a text saying that Ben is useless. It's a little bit harsh, but I don't know where. I can't end the live stream, so I have to be here. This is really fun. I mean, I could just leave, I suppose, but I don't think I want to do that.
Don't leave.
Hey?
Stay there. I'm sorting it.
No one's commenting. No one's giving me any impy takeover. You imps. That's right, Parmex. You
Forget it. I can't find it.
Forget it. Oh, I feel very weird over this. Oh, in the circle.
I am right. The worst for technology at Bartway.
Shambles gas, mate.
Yeah, I'll get it on. Hang on. And my mum texts it. Hang
on. It's a good question. Luke raises a good question there. Is there overtime payment for that little segment that I just did?
No. Hang on.
They are, Luke. We have employment rights in this country. I don't have any.
Can we hear it?
Jake, it's Danny Cowley here. I just wanted to say a big hello. Thank you for all the support that you gave us while we were at Lincoln. Absolutely love that site. It's a beautiful city and a wonderful football club. It's so good to see them going from strength to strength. It's always one of the first results that we look out for. Please say hello to everybody in Lincoln for me.
We bang on about you all the time, mate.
Yeah. Look forward to catching up soon. Up in.
Thanks very much, Danny.
Love you, Danny. Love you, Danny.
Right. Thanks for watching all. Love you lots. Peace out. Like and subscribe. See you next time. Sunday. See you Sunday. There we are. Thank you. How do I get off this now? Hang on.
The live button's above my head.
Yeah, why did that change?
It's gone.
Bye.